All right, let's take a peekaboo at our deck that we're playing here today. So if you're new to the channel, a lot of the decks that I play here are viewer submissions. So this is a deck that a viewer sent in. This is a deck that was running around on the ladder for a hot second, probably 2 seasons ago at this point, a couple patches back. So this is a slightly different take on the deep mechanic. The deep, for those not familiar, says these cards get bigger or level up when you have 15 or fewer cards left in your deck. And then Nautilus, when you go deep, is a big, scary sea monster. 13, tough, fearsome, and makes all your other sea monsters cost a little bit less. And then the thing that this build is doing that's unique, instead of pairing with Shadow Isles like you typically see with the deep, is we're pairing it with Twisted Fate as our second champion, along with P and Z for our second region. So Twisted Fate here, just a good value card. And one of the ways Twisted Fate synergizes with the deep mechanic a little bit is Twisted Fate wants to see you draw cards, and the deep wants you to draw through your deck. So cards like Salvage, cards like Lure the Depths, these are cards that technically help us get towards deep faster, but they also help level up Twisted Fate, so they have synergy with both of our champions that we're playing here. We also have other sea monsters you'd expect to see, like Devourer and Abyssal Eye, and then our touch of PNZ is for things like Zaunite Urchin, Rummage, to help us get deep faster and draw more cards to level Twisted Fate, as well as cheap interaction like Thermo Beam and Mystic Shot. I think especially with the Fearsome archetype running around right now being a key aggressive player in the format, that Mystic Shot's very good against these Mist Wraith style aggro decks. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games here with this one and see how it goes. What's my peak ELO? I have no idea. For people that are new to the channel, I know a bunch of folks came over from Lobster Stream. Onion, thanks for the follow. Speaking of, welcome to the channel. My channel tends to have a little bit more of a casual focus on Runeterra. While we attempt to play the decks well that we play here on stream. Like I mentioned, most all of the decks that we play are viewer submissions, so unlike Lobster, who is an excellent competitive Runeterra player, I'm not quite of his caliber. We instead try to focus on playing a little bit wider range of things here, and our biggest focus is on fun. Oh, I forgot the purple emote. I'm gonna mulligan Zaunite Urchin here to start. It has low power against the Kench deck, and I don't really have anything I want to discard immediately. I think it's fine to keep Mystic Shot because shotting their first 3-1 challenger or 2-2 is fine. Miss Magic, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
So pretty. This way.
This way.
Pablo's been down, but his knee out.
How's the game audio versus my voice, by the way, folks? Is it at an okay level? And I had to adjust some things last night in my setup for Minecraft Dungeons. Game's a touch slot. Okay, perfect. Drag that down a scotch.
I am here to help.
Just a little bit. All right, so
Found one.
Grabbing Jettison off of that is a big game. Sea Monster, Devourer of Depths, not super great in this matchup because they have a lot of high toughness things to start, and they also have a number of things that buff toughness, like not only Bastion but also the +4 toughness. I don't think I want to attack into this. Giving them damage on here to heal them seems not great. I think I'd rather start by... I think what I ideally want to do in this matchup is get set up to kill them in one big turn as opposed to attacking in and nickeling and diming them. Do I have my music volume lower? I do have the music volume lower. Let's pull the music up. Bounce it all back up. The music in this game is great. All right, audio should be better now. Do I want to attack this into here? I don't think I do, right? Like, there's really not any reason to. As they'll just get to open on attacks and heal it. Well, I pulled the volume down as a whole on my slider for point of reference. So, someone earlier said the music was fine, but everything else was not. So I pulled the music up to everything else, and then pulled the total volume down.
I need time for commune, Tom. This you know.
We're at 30 cards in deck still. Kind of like these are technically like being 8 smaller. I assume Kench is going to eat someone this turn. I'm gonna play Jettison here as just a soft pass. Need to find out what they're doing with their turn before we make any decisions. We refer to playing a burst spell as a soft pass because we technically retain priority after a burst spell, but when we play the burst spell like that and it passes priority back to the opponent, they can't end the turn because we technically played a card even though we passed priority. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just salvage here now. This is gonna put us down to 18 cards, which means that this salvage gets us deep next turn. Again, just avoiding putting damage on my opponent's stuff for now because of this. I don't really care if Kench levels up here, I don't think. So, like, if they want to spend their mana eating one of these, I think this is fine. Now, the odds of obliterating Soraka or Kench next turn are incredibly low. Also, putting damage on them doesn't do anything because they have Star Spring in play. So it's basically strictly wrong to block there. They're gonna heal anyways. I don't mind them spending their mana to use this on Kench, so I think it's mostly upside, just let that happen.
There's a will, there's a meal.
I didn't update the deck queue after stuff last night, Alfanda, so I'll get that added today. Last night was a late night, because I was putting together the new YouTube channel. Let's salvage and see what we get. This is a 6/6 now, which sounds great. So they could give Kench extra toughness and then eat this, but now that all our monsters is huge, Kench is gonna have a hard time. Kench is gonna have a hard time cutting through them. Double Rummage is fine. It'll be good if we eventually find a Twisted Fate. Like, our opponent, because I explicitly haven't been putting damage on my opponent's units here, this is still pretty far away from, that's really good. This is still pretty far away from winning them the game, and I'm already deep, so Nautilus is going to get to do his thing next turn. So, this gets to eat this, which unfortunately is going to get obliterated here, and they'll get their Soraka back.
Call me king. Call me demon.
She is going to get to level up here this turn, unfortunately. This isn't super close to leveling just yet. And our life total is still in an okay spot, so hopefully we can Nautilus and to do some stuff next turn.
Where there's a will, there's a meal.
Wonderful to see them open on attacks here.
I need another chick.
Live with purpose. Take heart.
think I'm just using this as a gain 1 here. Or a gain 4. So if I drop Nautilus and then they have give 4 toughness to this, we get into trouble with the acquired taste. But then perhaps next turn the sea monster could obliterate it. Yeah, part of the reason to block Kench there too is so that way they can't Bastion Kench and then eat my Nautilus. All blue roses and Toot Hack, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel. And if they don't eat this right away, this is free. Although maybe I don't want to play this out this turn. Yep, they have the astral projection here. Terran Terror, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub. I really appreciate the 37 months of that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So our best draw next turn is Mystic Shot. So that way when we Devourer of the Depths to hit this, we get to Mystic Shot to break a barrier. Or a spell shield on it. Not a barrier, a spell shield. All blue roses, thank you for the very generous Prime support. There's a lot of great people you can ship that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it my way this month. Appreciate the Bezo bucks. This isn't ideal because they could heal too. Oh, they're hushing. Okay, so we're going to rummage in response here, looking for a Mystic Shot. Yeah, I think that unfortunately is gonna do it. Because they're gonna get to open attacks on this next turn, and this is finally hitting a rate that. Okay. Well, I mean, if they're real greedy. Yeah, we just never get through that. Yeah, Soraka Kench is, you know, one of the closest thing to a prison deck in this game. It's definitely Soraka Kench and Lee Sin are two of the reasons why I really love the pick ban format. They're the easy bans. My company hired someone on Friday. When the person logged in and joined our meeting, we found out that the person hired did not match the person in the meeting. What is wrong with the world? That's wild, Robert. Thank you for the 33 months. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I mean, like, and their deck discourages you from interacting with them, right? Like, the optimal plays for a lot of that game was trying to not attack into them. So we definitely don't want Nautilus to start in our opener. We want to draw that later once we're already deep. Karma Teemo is a sweet start. I think I keep all of these. They're relatively interactive. Jaw Hunters is a sweet interactive piece that also generates lots of monster for later. This kills a turn 1 Teemo. Give him the snowball, little Oompa. Gotcha. Am I looting with this? I feel like I'm looting with this. I'm just gonna pass. I wanna hold on to this till after this stride level twisted fate. I am waiting, and I've talked about this on stream before, but I'm waiting to reserve judgment on Starspring until we get a full card set with this last card drop. I think I'm hoping that when every region has a way to interact with landmarks, Starspring will be a lot more reasonable. And if that's the case, I think the appropriate criticism is, hey, Riot, don't split up answers to a new card type like this ever again. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Starspring feels more than fine and less obnoxious when every region has landmark interaction.
I got ways to find in mushrooms.
It's hard to tell exactly how aggressive their deck is, because, like, Teemo is, like, kind of aggressive, Karma's really not. So, like, I think I want to play Twisted Fate here and get him leveling, but I'm not sure if I want a blue card with him this turn, or if I want a gold card to gain 4. I feel like there's a good chance this just dies to, like, a Mystic Shot anyways, so I think I'm going to... I think I'm going to go ahead and gain 4 here on the off chance that they're aggressive. Yep. Derp Face, thank you for the 20 months of support. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Second TF's not a bad pickup here. Although I think I want to try and get some more removal out of them before I commit this card to the board. I think we'll go ahead and Coral Creatures, then when we hit a random bad card like this, we can Zonite Urchin. There was some spoiler stuff for the new set on the Runeterra Twitter. I'll also have a highlight put up on my new highlights channel later this afternoon after we're done being live for the day. Lord of Change, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Now I have to decide, do I want to do this? I think I'd rather Lure because it's more resource efficient here. And then we'll save the rest of this spell mana. So while you don't need to use all of your mana every turn in Runeterra like most other card games because you can bank mana across turns, it is generally speaking important to not be burning mana whenever possible. This trade seems great for us. Someone earlier had asked a question in chat about Lux Ezreal. Those two might be fine together. They kind of work with each other, kind of. I'm just gonna kill this with gold card. Just keep getting my value here. I think Twisted Fate's pretty unlikely to level up in this matchup. Karma decks tend to have a lot of cheap interaction in them, so I think this is very likely a matchup where we wait for Nautilus to try and win the game. Huh. Okay. So I'll do this now before we have more puff caps in our deck. For a Lux Ezreal build around, because that sounds sweet. Thanks for the bits, Fox. I'd be happy to get that into the queue. With there are about to be a lot of mushrooms in our deck. So, that being said, even though there's 40 pup caps and 24 cards here, I do have a lot of toss left, right? So we're going to take a little bit of damage, but I'm also going to get to burn off some of these mushrooms, which is nice. The baby Yeti is adorable. She sucks on her thumb and chews on her foot occasionally too. They really nailed the things babies do. I'm actually gonna just pass the turn and burn their mana here. I don't think the attack is stellar with all of the pup caps in my deck at the moment.
River shape the land and give it life.
So we're 22 cards. So we're 22 cards means we're 7 off of being deep. So if I Oblitafish and they try and hurt this in response, I can jettison plus salvage still, right? Because I'm at 11 mana. So I think we're going to try and devour Teemo here. Howdy, Cap. Really? I'm doing swell. And this is exactly like we drew it up here. So they Mystic Shotted to try and save Teemo. We're going deep in response. He's a hungry boy, chat. Hungry boy. Go get it on Teemo. Their deck is sweet.
Sweet.
We have our blocker here at least still. Shit.
What form will the waters take? Waters are still.
2, 3, 4.
And we don't have to worry about sweepers out of their deck, right? Like, they're not in regions that have those. So let's just, like, drop a 13/13 and go to town. They could have, like, Will of Iona here to tempo our Nautilus, but I think that's still fine. Hello, oldest son.
Oh, it's mushrooms.
How are you doing? What's up?
Good.
You just want to come sit by me?
But that's what with the bit on me. That's so mean.
Declan was so mean.
Because you put the bit on me, okay?
We don't spit on people, Declan.
Hey. Look at that golden thing.
Dude, he's gold because he's really tough. He's got armor. Look, he's a big monster.
Daddy. Salmon.
Yep, our deck is all full of giant sea monsters.
How about your deck? I had so many things.
Well, hopefully they're dead here. Honestly, if they're not dead here, we could die to puff gaps.
Why?
Put a mushroom out.
Why chicken coops?
They're gonna stun. Yeah, we could see a stun happen here, and then there's a chance we die to cap still. So this game's definitely not over just yet. There's probably a concussive palm, I imagine. Or they have a couple of steel tempests. Oh, and they're retreating the Teemo. Okay, yeah. For folks that are new to the channel, I am a father of 3. How many siblings do you have? You have 2 siblings? Your brother and sister? This is Jacob. He's the oldest.
Hey, Deck would want to pick me. I like that one.
Right, be nice to your brother.
And what Deck make it out with this?
See? I told you we could die to puff cap still, chat. Hitting with both of these and drawing cards is a big deal. There are 19 caps left in 11 cards, so approximately two caps per thing here.
Sad. Why put a sad?
Because he only has one little baby guy, and we have all these big guys.
And he get the biggest the best mother or mother. That is
Okay, so we got 22 puff caps and 11 cards. $25 puff caps. We are not statistically dead. We could be dead, but statistically we are not. So we have like a little over 2 puff caps per card. Survey says we could also get Mystic Shotted here. So we could die to a burst of direct damage here still.
Oh, but Mop, why you hit Mop? We only got one, and we.
All right, one is not none yet. One is not none. Prentice Spec Valley, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Well, they died first, so that counts. How old are you, Jacob?
6 years old and
6 years old.
what about me? That is my oldest.
Oh, am I the oldest?
Yeah, because I said you're old and you're way more older, but
Yeah, Saloom, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
you're way more older by everyone, right?
If you want to see Jacob's breakout streaming moment, we played Minecraft Dungeons together last night on stream for a couple hours. Were you super good at Minecraft Dungeons?
Get him addicted to streaming?
You like streaming with Dad?
Yep.
Yep.
You gotta say, hey chat.
Hey, chat.
Super chat. Okay, calling chat superheroes is gonna go to their head. No, you don't want to give them that much credit. You need to build them up a little bit, but not quite superhero level.
Yeah. Hey, chat, Douglas.
You got most of the way there. Okay, so Misfortune Gangplank is Bilgewater Noxus, so they're an aggressive deck. We're going to mulligan everything except the Mystic Shot here, looking for lower curve cards to play early on. Both Coral Creatures and Jewel Hunters are great early pickups, just things to get in the way and block a little bit.
He put Mother and wait, Mother.
She's got a gun, she blasts us. Texas, thanks for the follow, welcome to the channel. Hey, we're just playing Coral Creatures here. We have an 18-month-old terrorist toddler. She's spooking my wife into asking, are we gonna have another one of these? Your first kid is always extra good to lull you into a sense of security into having another.
Wait.
Just pick a card in hand, shuffle 4 copies into your deck. So this is probably bait for Rummage down the line or Zaunite, but it could. We largely play this card to have extra things to discard to Rummage.
We are busting again. We are busting again.
Alright, so I think we're going to go ahead and play Coral Creatures here, with Misfortune coming into play on their side, dealing 1 damage to all of our stuff. We've got Jewel Hunters, is not a particularly good blocker, we'll be able to attack with it potentially next time.
Jewel Hunter? What Jewel Hunter?
This is Jewel Hunters. They're hunters on a boat.
Hunter.
The attack with the Misfortune here is super aggressive, means that I get to go ahead and kill this with a Mystic Shot. I think I chump here. Preserve my life total. It's my excuse for a 3rd one. It had been a while.
Oh, what? I'll be damned. How he do that? How he do that?
We smashed into each other. We generated a Rummage off the second Coral Creature, which is a real good beat. So probably the fact that they attacked in with the calm down, bud. The fact that they attacked in with their Misfortune against our potential Mystic Shot deck there, Death's Hand. That's an interesting card. This one isn't one you see a ton of in this archetype. Seems good though. It kills one of our things and it triggers Gangplank. This is probably good technology for their deck against the Fearsome aggro deck. I kind of like that inclusion. It shot us. Yep.
That only 1 kill. And 1 cut. And 1 cut kill. And 1 kill.
It's a pretty good open attacks here. So getting down to about 10 life is like the danger zone in this matchup. Opponent's archetype tends to play Decimate and Noxian Fervor. Although maybe if they're on Death's Hand, they're not on Noxian Fervor. Something's got to give to fit that in, right?
Oh no! If I don't.
Hey, if you go upstairs, Fortnite finished installing on the other Switch. If you want me to help you set that up, okay? Oh, you can play Dungeons on the other Switch too? Love you, buddy. It's upstairs by the end table. That's a pretty good generation. I think we need to beam something here just for the sake of resource efficiency. I guess I can wait on that till next turn, actually. I'm gonna pass for now. I'm gonna go ahead and pass because I think we're just playing Devour at the depths next turn. And if we drew like a Mystic Shot, I might want to do that instead. Yeah, and this is why I mentioned that kind of like danger zone style spot. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and rummage here in response, because if we draw Mystic Shot, I want to Mystic Shot this. I think we're at a point where Jaw Hunters is probably not great. They have a Gangplank. This one's probably done.
Explosives primed.
Like I said, our deck doesn't have a way. One of the big downsides of this build versus the traditional Shadow Isles deep deck is we don't have a way to gain life back. So in positions like this, we don't really have a way to stabilize the board. Or rephrase. Once we've stabilized the board in a position like this, we don't have a way to stabilize our life total.
Bilgewater is mine and mine alone.
I think this build really struggles against these decks that are looking to be aggressive compared to the SI Deep that has lots of ways to gain life, like Vile Feast and Grasping Whale. Which right announced their spoilers. They have on their Twitter account at Runeterra has everything up there. It's IER actually. Well, we can't play those cards silent. They're a different region. So we're PNZ Bilgewater. This deck's playing a different secondary region than the traditional deep deck that you see with Maokai. Another Soraka Kench. I'm mulligan the Mystic Shot. I think I keep Rummage Coral Creatures. It's a good start to getting deep. Can hardly believe I've been watching your content for 2 years. Thanks for the entertainment, always a hoot. Thanks for the 24 months of Prime Steve. Really appreciate it. Good to have you along on our ventures into Runeterra.
So pretty. Osu can sniff out any star anywhere.
Here's a pro tip for communicating with people on the internet, or just people in general. If you feel the need to prefix something with, I don't mean to be rude, but rude thing, I'm not a racist, but racist thing, just don't post your message. It's a really good system. Taikiro, thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I think we're just gonna... I'm just gonna bank spell mana here. I'll just bank spell mana. Your Swain Leo deck got me into the tournament today. Solid list. Awesome. Good luck, Steve. I think we definitely just Mystic Shot this Dorko. Get that while the getting is good before they can trigger this to heal and make this bigger. I live by the adage, anything before the word but is a lie. That's a real good way to put it. Hey, PDX Lowland. Thanks for the sub-gifty. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hoaglandia, Master Dunzo. Make our monsters super cheap. Yeah, hopefully we get a champion tomorrow. I imagine we're gonna get spoilers every day. Thanks, Rella. I try. Well, my monsters shall be the cheapest in the land. We're still a number of cards off of deep at this point.
Aye, is dinner on you then?
Thermo Beam's not terrible. We're gonna be 10 cards off of deep still. So if we hit a jettison, we could technically go deep next turn. Yeah, so we're 6 cards off of going deep at this point. We'll say okay and see what they try and eat here. They might hook this here. I think with that hook, I rummage to try and high roll the jettison. I think I'm ditching Zaunite. Is Beam gonna be useful this game? I feel like it's not. Probably don't need double rummage. I guess I need double rummage to hit deep next turn if I miss on the jettison though. Come on. Never lucky.
Why are you here?
I want to thank you for introducing me to Runeterra. I managed the 3-2 of the tournament today, so I'm happy with. Hey, congrats! The sleeve is really sweet. LKR Moose, thanks for the 3/4 of your support. I appreciate that. Put this towards keeping the Prime Playground well kept. Will do. Level 100 Janitor. Gosh, you must have super cleaning powers. Thanks for the follow. You mean by bump a deck by X points? Well, that's not Runeterra specific. That is channel specific. So a lot of the things that I play here on stream are viewer submissions, and there is a stream queue on my website where you can look at all of the upcoming decks that are in there. And you can use channel points to have a deck that's in the stream queue waiting to be played sooner. So people that watch the channel, donate to the channel, use channel points, they dictate kind of what content we have here and what order we have that content in. Alright, so you get to eat that. What are the odds they have nothing and this gets to eat the Kench here? Almost nothing. I can make this a 7/7, but that's probably not enough. Yeah.
Take heart. Live with purpose.
Yeah, this matchup seems pretty impossible for this deck. What kind of deck can defeat the opponent's deck? You know, I'm going to be honest. I actually don't really know what's good against the Soraka Kench deck, because the Soraka Kench deck is just kind of a feel-bad deck. I feel like even when I beat it, it kind of sucks to play against. It's definitely one of my least favorite decks in the format. Ruination is good against it. Precipix like king of the data, so if Precipix says Ruination, I'd believe him. Alright, so Draven, Jinx, discard aggro here. Gonna keep Beam and Twisted Fate here. Twisted Fate's red card tends to be very good in this matchup. Beam is just a cheap piece of interaction early as Stellar. SI Frel control. Okay, so both the Feel the Rush and the Anivia decks tend to be good. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Seems to be the common consensus then. Play sweepers.
All about this.
I'm gonna go ahead and Coral Creatures here. It's a potentially playable card. This gives us an extra mana with the Attune, so I can Thermo Beam one of their 2/2s here.
Why are you here?
Why are you here? I think it's better to kill House Spider. I guess this is always at least a 2/2, right? So it's strictly better. Double Nautilus is not what we're looking for early here, that's for sure. Let's see if they play something out worth beaming here. I think I'm holding on to this because next turn could be a Jinx or a Draven. I'll take this and I'll block here if they open attacks, and then red card will clean everything else up, which is great.
Jinx stands for Jinx.
Durr.
Fill me in.
This is exactly why we kept Twisted Fate in the opener. Like I mentioned, red card is Stellar here.
Screaming helps not at all. No outsiders.
Is it crazy to just jump with Twisted Fate here? I feel like it's not. I feel like I just have so much beef in my hand, I just want to keep my life total high. I'm pretty unlikely to level this against their Mystic Shot deck. Their Mystic Shot Get Excited deck. I think I just keep my life total high here, kill this Jinx, and then curve out into some big monsters here. This could probably be a game where we like play Nautilus as an O12 blocker before we're deep. It's not something that happens very often, but it does on occasion, these aggro matchups.
I brought my books. Hope that's all right.
Likely gonna trade very defensively with Abyssal Eye as well. I think our deck is favored in this matchup as the game goes long, so I just want to take as many defensive trades as possible. Okay, so they have open attacks for 3 here, which isn't amazing, but it's something. So we're going to 12. I think I'm supposed to keep this in the bank for one of their champions. Nice. When Jaw Hunters creates a constructed playable card, it feels like cheating.
I'm on a roll. Rules are made to be broken, like buildings or people.
That's real scary.
Some rock got me good.
Okay, so you're saying there's a chance. Please draw 2 followers.
Watch your step.
They did kind of draw 2 followers. You're not fun. I think I'm playing Devourer here and eating this. And then we'll double Mystic Shot Jinx. These elusive Poros are going to be a real threat, though. We're at a virtual 6 this turn already. Still not close to deep here. When this deck was originally drafted up, the first person who built it had dubbed it Turbo Deep. And I'm referring to it as Twisted Deep because I really don't think Turbo is a good moniker for it. Because, like, while sometimes it hits deep really quickly, it doesn't consistently hit deep really quickly. Yeah, that's a thought. Maybe I'm supposed to Mystic Shot Jinx and then Devour her. And then I could Mystic Shot one of the elusives. Yeah, I agree. The traditional Maokai version tends to hit deep faster than this one does, in my experience. Yeah, maybe that was better. I think you're right that was probably the better line. Alright, well. My fish get to eat some Poros. Looking to... Oh, I probably should have done this first, right? Made that cheaper.
The party has arrived.
Well, I can't devour Jinx. She has to have less toughness. This is a 4/4. She's a 5/4 when she's level. Pac-Mania, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Got an axe with your name on it.
Really? Well tested, Zero.
Draven out.
Thermo Beam. Thermo Beam. Rats. Yeah, we're still 9 cards off of deep at the moment. It's actually going to be a close game here. If they don't peel a burn spell in their next 2 draws, we're in an okay spot.
Anything else?
Oh, that is just draw a sea monster, isn't it? Listen, chat. I'm a card game player. I can't read. I'm really surprised they didn't open attacks here, giving us a chance to get an elusive down here. Seems like, seems not great.
That's so small, but she ain't lacking courage. The people are my strength.
This is a good one. Is this lethal? That's lethal, right? Drew Jettison, still not deep. So Runeterra has a thing where if a champ owns a boat, playing the boat puts the champion in your hand. Does that imply Jaw Hunters are secretly owned by a cabal of sea monsters? Asking the real lore questions there. NeosFE, thanks for the follow. Vendetta, welcome to the channel. To all the new folks just dropping in for the first time today, welcome. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I do 20-25 hours of Runeterra content per week. Usually I play 2 different constructed decks almost every single day. I also have a YouTube channel where I post highlights daily of the best decks that I've played throughout the course of the week. So if you can't drop in for all of my streams, you just want the most interesting decks that I highlight, along with intros and wrap-ups for them, be sure to give me a sub there as well. Shen Fiora, so something aggressive. Definitely mulliganing Nautilus, and I think Salvage. I think there could be merit to keeping Devourer of the Depths, especially with Lure here to start. It could also be right to just mulligan and like look aggressively for things like Mystic Shots and other things that get us deep quicker. We can go either way on this one. We're attacking on odds, which I think means keeping this is better because it's going to cost 5, so we can play it turn 5. Cheap Thermo Beam is actually a very good pickup as well. Bremer has, thanks for the follow. This is probably a turn 2 lure. I guess I can wait, right? It's a free roll to wait. Alright, play a Fiora for me to beam. Beam me a Fiora, Scotty.
River shape the land and give it life.
You know what? Maybe I'm supposed to lead on Zaunite there and then beam this. So that way, if they have either a +2/+2 or an Opify like that, they don't get open attacks with it.
Sweep them away.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake on my part.
A gift from the river folk.
Some rock got me good.
Sure, Camperly. I think I'm just gonna attempt to beam this. I think I just gotta work through their protection. Ship of V, thanks for the follow. Yep. Because I think my mana next turn is getting dedicated to Devourer of the Depths here. So, just need to work through these things. Even if they have a barrier here, this still obliterates it, which is nice. They could have, like, Riposte plus a single combat, perhaps, to save it. We are currently a lot of cards off of the deep. Again, not looking to get deep anytime soon here. 28, so we're 13 cards off at this point.
2 worlds, 1 balance.
I'm innocent.
I think I want to put this to 2, so that way Devourer can kill it next turn, potentially. Yeah, after doing a bunch of research on how other YouTubers do it, AJZ, it seems like everybody puts their highlights and their stream archives on different channels, so I'm gonna do that, attempt to see if it impacts metrics at all. I've mostly ignored YouTube so far in my content career, so I want to try and pay a little bit more attention to it and see if I can cultivate some actual revenue there. We're 8 cards off of the deep at the moment. I guess we try this. If they have a +2/+2 we got. Yes. Yeah, diversifying income off our platforms is definitely a good idea as well. Yeah. Yeah, I plan to do that. I posted a community post, Ratha, mentioning that I started a second channel, but I didn't post a video yet. It was late last night when I finished putting everything together.
Water changes but never breaks.
I think we're probably dead here.
Soldiers to me.
Nautilus that turn is better. That's an interesting thought. Just like getting an O12 down. We're just so far away from him being useful and leveled. For like 2 to 3 more turns still. But yeah, maybe Riptide it just makes it worthwhile. Can definitely see that. Kind of a barrier here for Shen and just end us. The good news is that they have a barrier for Shen, they don't have a rally, so.
My father's blade.
That's true. If we draw a second Jettison, we can level him. Might have a shot here if we draw a salvage or a jettison or a rummage. This could technically be a rummage or a jettison, right?
Not today, little ones.
All right, one turn late, but maybe good. This Riptide plus a 13/13 might drag us through here, kicking and screaming. This blocks here. This blocks here. I get to Riptide Shen. I think I want to just click OK here to try and get them to barrier the Shen. Clicking OK is worse against a rally, though. Just gonna go to blocks and see what they do. Because it might be right to just like Riptide this. They could also have a couple of barriers and try and kill us with this though. And if they rally here, I can Riptide in response. Could get denied here as a card they play. Alright, dead to rally. Okay. Sometimes lucky. Yes, the deny stops the Nautilus shuffle as well. That is true. Why do they not cost the same? Because this one was created by Nautilus after the fact.
These woods protect their own.
Keeper. Our lands need us.
So I'm definitely playing this. The question is, am I bidding Salvage or Twisted Fate? I think it's Salvage, so that way if they don't open attacks, I can gold card. Yeah.
You're covered.
Duty, selflessness, heavy burden.
And then I think we just beam the Green Glade Caretaker here. That's a good point. I do have some numbers of Mystic Shot left in my deck, right? So it could be right to keep Salvage to try and draw Mystic Shot. Yeah, it's a really good thought. Yeah, I think that's the line. I don't know how many Mystic Shots were left in our deck, but yeah, I should. They're pretty likely to open attacks, I think, and I think that's the play. That's a really good observation.
Nature blesses her followers. Nothing to nothing.
Really close game.
What form will the waters take?
Idiot.
Does Mystic Shot do anything there since they open it? Yeah, they die, Wylar. We'd salvage into the Mystic Shot and kill them. They were at 2. They took 18 elusive the previous turn. Yeah, we were on like defense / the back foot so much that game. I think I'm keeping all of these. Shen Tryndamere is probably something more mid-range controlling. So we can afford to be a little bit slow here.
Thought me smell some.
We open on this. I don't want to take a bunch of big hits from this. Oh, it does say everywhere, doesn't it? I wonder if that's a bug. I'll have to ask. Usually things that say everywhere imply things that are created later. Oh, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. The definition of everywhere, and that's one of the things where, like, when there's not a rule book for the game that I can reference, like, it's tough to know if something's a bug or a feature.
For the homestead. Footprints here.
Okay, so we red card, and then we can Mystic Shot to kill this.
Something for all.
Light the signal fires.
Yeah, does obliterated not count as everywhere then? Would be the expectation. Odian, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Lady Luck is smiling.
I'm just banking mana for the time being. I don't really want to play this out into a potential Avalanche out of their deck. I assume their Swain deck is playing Avalanche.
My blade grows restless. Death itself can't stop me.
So yeah, I have a choice here. So like, I can either wait and level Twisted Fate, or I can block here and then play Devourer of the Depths to obliterate Tryndamere. Yeah, obliterating Tryndamere prevents his leveling. It's tough. Hey, thanks for the bits, D20 Bandit. I appreciate the support. Good afternoon. They're notably not an atrocity deck, so I think I just take the hit. Yeah, I like leveling Twisted Fate too.
There's another one!
I am having a swell weekend, Rabbit Goggles. So, TF's gonna level next turn when we draw a card. Janbo, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Hesitation's a tell.
Crawl creatures never makes genocide when you actually want it, right? Yeah, leveling Twisted Fate now with Lure actually doesn't do anything beneficial, though, because I'm not losing mana, and if I wait and play Lure after I've leveled Twisted Fate, playing Lure after I've leveled Twisted Fate triggers Twisted Fate. So, like, leveling Twisted Fate last turn when I'm out of mana doesn't really do anything for us, right? Whereas now, I get to do it and blue card.
Soak it in.
I'm convinced it's hard-coded into Coral creatures to always make something as unhelpful as possible. The Shuffler's out to get us! Correct, yeah, the red card off of this will put this to low enough that we can kill it with this. Does Rummage hit deep here? Not quite. Not quite. Salvage doesn't get us deep either. It's a little sad. Salvage plus Rummage does do it, but I don't have enough mana to salvage Rummage and Devourer this turn. There's also some value to holding Rummage till next turn, so that way I can have quick speed things to play Twisted Fate cards with.
Something for all of you.
But it might have DC'd, maybe? It's unfortunate. Yeah, looks like it. Oh, nope. Maybe not. Hungry Oblitifish. We defeat our devourers, some Trinda treats. Something that's kind of cute here is that if they have a way to deal damage to their Tryndamere here, they could kill this to level it, and then it no longer gets obliterated.
Dead in their tracks.
Goodbye, friend. I wonder if Riot's going to post the deck list people used to hit top 32.
Looks like trouble.
Great, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. I'm interested to see if the diversity at the top 32 of these tournaments, the lineups that people bring, is reflective of the latter, or if the tournament setting ends up being different. What about top 64, Boogerman? I can't tell if my opponent's here or not. They haven't timed out, so they must be here, right? Because we've had the rope go down a few times now.
Tell.
This is the concede rope. Nope, not yet. Not quite.
The water rises.
Blue as the serpentine.
Are they griefing us? Is that what's currently going on? That's actually what's going on. Got it. Okay, I'm gonna take down their username and report them. No, they'd have. They'd have dropped off by now if they were disconnected, right? They keep clicking past before their timer runs out, right? Yeah, it auto concedes after like 3 or 4. Are they?
Blade.
I don't know. I feel like that was, I'm gonna have to go back and watch the tape. Maybe they were just having connection issues. I don't know. It started happening right when we leveled Twisted Fate, so like it's kind of hard. Like it could have. I try not to assume malice when there's other explanations, but like it definitely happened when we leveled Twisted Fate. Let's do one more. I wanted to do one more, but that one, last one was gonna be the last one, but then we ended up getting disconnected or whatever. Yeah, maybe they disconnected and they got back in and then they got booted out again. Could be a very real explanation. I think people tend to assume malice too often in situations like that, especially with the game where your opponent could be playing on mobile. I'm gonna keep Jettison to work towards Deep. I'm gonna keep Twisted Fate, because he's just good value. Lux Karma. Almost assuredly something more controlling. Don't really have anything I want to bend to Urchin at the moment. Abyssal Eye, like, all of my cards just seem so good in this matchup. I don't think I want to give any of them up here.
I'm always as good around with you.
And a Twisted Bait just, like, eats something and dies here. He drew a card to replace himself, so it's, like, not a big deal.
Soak it in.
Yeah, hopefully these 3/3 elusives are going to generate us a lot of card advantage here.
Move with purpose.
No blocks.
Strength and grace. Beauty in the blade.
That's a really interesting one for their deck that looks more controlling.
The dragon lives.
This is a card you expect paired with Fiora. Not Lux Karma. Did they have a combat trick here to kill my elusive? That's fine. That was gonna kill my elusive regardless, right? Okay, that's not bad. It means this next Twisted Fate can gold card to kill these.
Never lost a fair game. Or played one.
Or played one. Coral creatures. We'll pick some garbage up off the seafloor for Zonite Urchin to discard.
Hold it, partner.
I fight for the fallen.
It's pretty good. Thankfully, we're not aggro decks. This isn't too big of a deal. Opponent's playing a bit of a brute. One of the things that's great about Runeterra is because Runeterra doesn't have a bunch of bad cards in it like a lot of other games, just playing a mix of whatever cards you want to play is mostly fine, and you can reach Diamond and even Masters with just playing mostly random piles of cards because most Runeterra cards are constructed playable. That is a feature, it is not a bug.
The sun is shining. We should too.
Alright, so literally has cards called pack fillers. Yeah, basically every game does. Like, Hearthstone just took all of the predatory stuff that paper card games like Magic the Gathering had been doing for forever and just, like, turned it up to 12. When are we deep? Three cards away from deep. We're also 3 cards away from leveling this. We could do both this turn, right, potentially? I think we open on Zonite, ditch Jaw Hunters here. And then if this happens, I get to lure and level this and go deep simultaneously.
We're in this together.
I see a single combat into my thing. We're gonna kill him with
Fighting my life too long.
gonna kill him with a thermo beam. Sweet.
No more holding back.
Alright, so I think we just go ahead and play this Abyssal Eye out, and then we'll attack with both of these, and the first one striking will take us deep. So that means the second one will hit for 6, for 9 here. Two giant monsters. Nautilus gets to take over at this point, which is great.
You will be scoured from this land!
That didn't do nothing!
Correct, Fox. In fact, that's a part of the reason why I'm trading off aggressively here as well. Want to get my little Dorkos as dead as possible. I think I'd rather try and get rid of Radiant Guardian here than Lux. Get rid of their way to buffer their life total back up. I mean, I have Riptide to play around Judgment here, which is nice.
We'll bring peace to Ionia, whatever the cost. The answer lies within.
Okay, I think we just open attacks here, right? It's a big hit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we open attacks with them having Lux and Karma in play. Yep, this is definitely the opponent's deck getting to do their thing here. So, Karma doubles up spells, and then she also doubles up their final sparks if she survives, so... As they shuffle back and forth here.
Never back down from what you believe.
I pity you.
So, well, Mystic Shot here to crack the barrier. Do we just Riptide the Karma now? I think we Riptide the Karma now. So they can't have Karma out when they play these final sparks here. There's a good chance we just die to Final Sparks next turn, too. Because, like, this is dying, but this is going to 2 toughness. What does Riptide do? It stuns a unit, or if you have Nautilus in play, it instead shuffles it back into the enemy deck. So very, very powerful card with Naut in play. I'm just passing here. It is the most efficient piece of removal in the game under the right conditions. It might have been right to play Jaw Hunters there.
Whatever the cost.
We just have to hope they don't have deny here, I think.
I won't stand by.
Yeah, that'll do too. I think we're actually dead, right? Because this is gonna generate a final spark. If they have another 3-mana spell, we die. This is a pretty big tempo loss. So this final spark does 6 to us. It's gonna do 8 total blasting through this. Yeah, we're not dead this turn, Sarja, but, like, we're not going to kill them on open attacks next turn. And then they're going to be able to make more final sparks next turn, most likely, to kill us, is the issue. So, like, you're right that we might not literally die this turn, but we no longer have a path to victory from there. So, like, if they have a 3-mana spell, they kill this and deal 6 to us. And then we don't lose this turn, but we almost assuredly lose the next turn. And maybe instead of going for the big beam and crossing our fingers, I'm supposed to just like flood the board with these and hope I generate enough sea monsters to win the game. I can see that being the case. Alright, this is me shooting my shot. And I'm not throwing away my shot, chat. If they don't have a deny here, this gives us 3 8/8s, which are all lethal, and none of them kill us to double final spark. So like there's an outside chance here that, like, you know, this wins. Yeah, everything having 8 toughness is key here. We're dead to single combats. We're dead to concerted strikes. Like, lot of things here end poorly for us, but we're not dead to heads up information. Yeah, dead to a stiff breeze, not dead heads up. I think my Thermo Beam play was wrong the previous turn. Let's see if we get out of it. Excuse me? Oh no. Oh no. That's incredible. Alright, I'm gonna let them beam us for good measure. No, chat, that's a fucking hurricane. That's not a stiff breeze. We got blown way over. That's awesome. That's great. My poor little sea monster. There's so many lasers. There's so many lasers.
Cannot escape judgment.
We cannot escape judgment, chat. Big feels. He's already dead. Stop killing him. So I feel like this set highlighted a lot of the kind of issues this archetype has and kind of showed off why it's on a deck that's very commonly played. I think this deck is just, it's worse at being a Twisted Fate deck than the other Twisted Fate decks that are out there, like both the Go Hard Twisted Fate deck and even other brews like the Twisted Fate Diana are kind of a tough, are both better at doing what Twisted Fate wants to do. And as far as being a deep deck goes, I don't think this deck gets deep as consistently as the Maokai Shadow Isles variation does. So overall, this one felt rough. Not only does it not get deep as consistently as the Shadow Isles variation does, but it what's the word I'm searching for? It also struggles against aggro because it doesn't have a way to gain life. Yeah, I think this deck probably has okay matchups against things that are mid-range and controlling. I mean, I don't even know that it's acceptable to say there isn't enough card draw. Like, this deck draws a lot of cards. We've got Salvage and Lure of the Depths and Rummage and Zonite Urchins. Like, we see an okay amount of cards. It's just, it's hard to get deep with just drawing cards. Like, the Shadow Isles variation has more dedicated tossing between Maokai and, like, the 3-drop that tosses 3 when it comes into play. So, with just card draw, yeah, the draw it has isn't enough to make up for the lack of tossing. I mean, even Slaughter Docs, I don't think really solves our issue, Precipic. Like, I don't think that card meaningfully moves the needle on how quickly we get deep. Like, you play it on 3, and by turn 4, it's like tossed like 3 or 4 cards, if that. Like, that's an okay slow payoff that eventually turns into a threat as well, but it doesn't make up for the fact that, like, we're not consistently getting deep like you do in the Shadow Isles variation, I think. Alright, at any rate,